I'm currently doing alterations on a prom dress, and I thought, let me just, share that with y'all. So I'm currently tacking a tool train. So the tool train originally started right here and down, and here is basically hip level, but she didn't like how it looked, so I said to her, how about we raise it up to the waist, and then from the waist down it will fall, which also made it more poofy and fuller, which is what she wanted. She actually was going to get some more tulle so that we can make it a little bit fuller, but when I pinned it the way that I saw it fit, she was like, that's exactly what I wanted, and so we didn't need to add any more tulle. And so that's the part that I am working on, and I decided to hand sew it because all we got to do is stack it in certain places. We don't have to sew the entire thing down because it's also kind of layered in a way, and I think that sewing it with the machine is not gonna give me the desired look anyway. It's gonna be too bulky, and so I feel like I could be more accurate hand sewing it, which I love hand sewing so much more than sewing on the machine, to be very honest with y'all. And I find it to be a little bit more peaceful. I love to be busy and working with my hands, and hand sewing gives me that satisfaction. So that's what we're doing here. And then once I tack this in place, I am going to tie a certain part, just a front portion of the train, into a bow, and then we got nice actually, let me see if I can grab it. Laces to get up. Okay, let me make sure I am not rolling on the dress. Okay, so here I have rhinestones that we're going to put in the center part of the bow. She wanted something sparkly because the dress is sequins, and we wanted something that would match but not be overpowering at the same time. So we found kind of like a trim with these sequins on it. However, if you can tell, in between the sequins it's a velvet fabric, so it's not just all sequins overlapping each other. It literally has like texture in between. And so the lace trim that the sequins trim that we found was all sequins, and it was laying flat, and so it was nice, but you could tell that it's not the same fabric. And so we said, you know what, let's not do that. And then I suggested rhinestones, which in the aisle we were in were no rhinestones. And then later on we found this, so I said this would look much better than the sequins. And we also found a different trim that had rhinestones on it, but it was kind of like a thick plastic, maybe like a rubbery type material, and then the rhinestones were already glued on it, and they were like very tiny, so it was more like a texture. It was nice. That would have been the option over the sequins trim until we found these. And then we also found this set. These are the same size as those, and then they have smaller ones, so I'm going to glue these on the bow, and I'm very excited about that because I haven't done that before on, I was gonna say on a prom dress, but on anything really. And then my needle got stuck in between here right now, so I'm carefully pulling it back out. But I did not make this dress. I'm just doing the alterations on it, in case y'all are wondering. And I am definitely going to share what the final product looks like. Oh my gosh, why did this happen? Okay. Okay, we got it through the first layer. Now I gotta get it through the second one. Like, I literally put my needle down for 1 second and it found its way through this fabric. This is the stuff that you don't get to see when I'm actually just making shorts. You don't see the bloopers because I'll be cutting those out. And yeah. Okay. There's one tiny layer still where it's caught. And I'm like, you know what? At this point, I think I was finished here anyway. Was I? Yeah, I think so. So let's just cut it off because why would I do all this extra stuff? Okay, on to the next part. I am thinking. Okay, so I have tagged the 2 parts at the front. Now this one and this I'm going to tag together with this piece. So these are 2 different pieces. I don't know if y'all could tell the difference, but let's see here. I'm gonna start with this side first, right here, and I'm spreading it out just a little bit because that's going to give us a nice fullness that we want to see. Okay, so first I like to start off making a knot. Normally I would make a knot in my thread, but sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like doing it. I'm making a knot in the fabric anyway, so I just leave an extra tail and then sew through it, go through the loop, pull and tighten, and then I have a knot. I'm not sure how well y'all could see that. Let me turn that down a little bit. So again, I do a double one just for extra security. Go through the loop and pull tight, and there I have it. And then I'm going to actually sew through it. Okay, I am making sure that this is tight. So this is right here where it's actually sewn down. Excuse me. It's down here. This is basically where the hip is at, and I'm pulling it up to the waist so that it looks a little bit better and gives us a nice fullness once again. And then I'm going to run my fingers through on the inside to make sure that we didn't accidentally sew double layers, which we did not. Because that also happens sometimes where you accidentally sew through multiple layers. Okay, and then again, I am ending by making some knots similar to when you first start, because we don't want our thread to come loose again. And I am doing it double also, and then one final to hide the tail for extra security purposes. And then that's that. And now here we have this, and because it's coming up, going up like this way and then back down, that poofs it up so it stands out already. That's the waistline. Thank you so much. So I didn't make the dress, but I'm just doing the alterations to make it better, because she was not satisfied with how it turned out. She didn't order it from me. She had it custom made somewhere else and then found me on TikTok, which I was like, you guys are finding me on TikTok? Like, a lot of my clients now are finding me on TikTok, which I think is so amazing. So amazing. And I was telling my friend last night how it just behooves me that there are literally 7 alteration shops down the street from me. Like, there are 2 literally like 5 minutes walking, and then everything else is between 15 minutes and 30 minutes walking, and everybody is literally passing all those alteration shops to come to me. It's an honor. It really is. And then besides the fact that there's 7 in this area, from wherever they're coming from, of course there are some there too, right? And this client, they drove over an hour to come see me. Right? That's so interesting. They drove over an hour to come see me from TikTok. Okay? Y'all don't even know me. For real. So they drove over an hour. I just had somebody else pick up their alterations yesterday. She drove over an hour. And then another girl that found me on TikTok, she came up a couple weeks ago. She literally drove almost 2 hours to come see me. Oh wait, I don't know why I did a tailor still. Sometimes I like to sew where one tail is shorter. This one ends right here and then the other tail ends there. And that's when I do like a single thread technique. But I forgot that I'm actually doing a double right now, like a regular. So yeah, super interesting. I really like it. I really feel honored when people do that, you know, because you can literally go anywhere else. And the fact that you found me on TikTok and said, I like her work and I'm gonna go see her. Thank you. So yeah, oops. Not again. Not again. What is happening? Okay, perfect. Ooh. Ah. Okay, so right here, I'm going to start by making my knots again. Fun fact, my mom, she was a designer when I was a kid, and so I guess to keep me distracted, because my mom, she's very big on making kids be busy so that, you know, they're not bored. And like if you're working, you have to make sure that your kids are occupied so that you can actually do the things that you need to do. And so as a child, I'm convinced that she did this to keep me occupied so that she could work. She would teach me how to hand sew, and while she was working on whatever sewing projects for her clients, I would sit there and hand sew stuff for my dolls. And I remember sometimes I would be so frustrated when I couldn't do it. And then she would literally drop whatever she was doing and like hand sew my stuff for me, or sometimes I would make her sew it on the machine. But my mom would teach me how to hand sew, and now my friends are like, how are you so good at hand sewing? And I'm like, I've been doing this since I was like 5. It is crazy. But I thank my mom for back then. I had no idea that I would ever do this, ever be a fashion designer. Never in a million years would I think that. And although she probably did it for, you know, her own benefit, I thank her so much that she did that, because yeah, it helped me be where I am today. Okay, cool. I want to do one more just for security purposes. I'm double checking. Cool. I'm sewing right at the boning. Yikes. Whew. And then we are down to, I guess, the last pieces. This one will be the last one. And I am wondering how far back I should do that one. Okay, so this is the back right here, well, the side back. So I'm thinking that I should probably have this one right until here. Okay, cool. So is that the same area? Let's see. Because these didn't have pins, I don't think so. I'm wondering what I should do with this one right here. This one is right there. I was originally going to sew this piece right here, but then I discovered this piece, so now I'm like, maybe I should do them together, pin it together, and then because this can always go over this part, you know, unless we need to leave this part alone and it's like right there. Hold on. Okay, so it's like right there, and then this piece right here together with this piece would turn into a bow like that. Not like this, but like perfectly done, like right here. And then the back part, I'm just thinking about whether I should leave this back part right where it's at. I'm thinking it. Okay, let's tie this and this together. Okay, let me think how I would want to do this. Should I do a knot first or no knot? Because we didn't do a knot, but let's see what it looks with the knot. Okay, let me show y'all. This is what the bow looks like. I'm wondering if I should take the knot away though. The first knot. Let's see what it looks like without the knot, because when she tried it on, we didn't do a knot right here. We just went straight into making the bow. So what I did was this, and then this. Let's see here. I think I like this better because it stays closer and flatter to the dress, to the body basically. Let's make it a slight bit bigger so it's a little bit more dramatic. I am loving it. Love it, love it, love it. And then here we have the train. And so these rhinestones would go right here on this bow, right in this center part, so that we have like just a little drama to it. That yeah, this is it. This is it. And I'm gonna tack that in place. Tack it in place and do what else? I need to check my list so that I'm making sure, you know, that I am on it, but I like it. And so I also replaced the lace on the back because whoever made the dress put this one in, and this is what it looks like. Literally, as she was here for the fitting, it was already fraying. It was literally like this on the dress. So I was like, can't keep that. So we replaced it, and this is what I put in today. And then I took in the waist of the dress also, and I redid the boning in there. There's no lining in the dress, so, but she didn't request for one, so we're not gonna do that. And then this is where the breasts are. This is like the neckline, you would say. And she wants this to be deeper because it literally looks almost straight. And so what I'm going to do to keep it not only up but also into a V, like a nice curve, I'm going to insert a wire, like an actual wire. I'm looking over here to see if it's there, but it's not. So the wire, I'll put from the side and go up, come into a curve, and then back up. So it's, you know, nice. And so there's horsehair in here, and that also accentuates this part, but it's just not staying up how we would want it to stay up. So therefore I'm going to do the wire, and I'm thinking that I'm going to make kind of like a body for the wire to go into, and then sew that in. So I'm gonna do that with this same ribbon. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll come back on here to show you the final product. Okay, thank you guys for, excuse me, hopping on with me and watching me work for a little bit and discuss, you know, these alterations. And I'll see you guys back soon. Bye.